I want you to imagine that at the end of Return of the King, when the entirety of Minas Tirith bows down to the four hobbits and their quest is finally concluded, that it is not the end. Imagine that as Pippin, Merry, and Sam begin their slow, peaceful post-hero lives in the Shire, that the story then shifts to following Frodo in his new travels out of Middle-earth. This is the initial premise of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Frieren? Frieren? Frieren. Oh, okay. If you don't know, Frieren follows the travels of a practically immortal elf continuing her life after she and her hero party vanquish the Demon Lord. Her friends wither and die, and she is left virtually the same age. While a sad goodbye, this premise is just the beginning of the story, a story that is wholly permeated by somber themes of memory, longing, finding purpose, and moving on. There's a simpler theme I want to examine in this video, though, and that's of the small things, as emblemized by Frieren's silly magic. I'll get to it momentarily. It's become extremely popular. You'll see tons of fan art of Frieren and her purple-haired companion Fern, who wears a certain style, all over the internet. A part of this popularity comes from hype moments in which Frieren flexes her magic prowess on a demon with a kill count in the thousands, or from her one-shotting a powerful demon that's been sealed away for 80 years. But another part of this popularity is surely from the touching moments that Frieren reminisces on during her journey with Fern and Stark, seeing pieces of those great champions she spent 10 years with in them. While the memeable and badass moments are truly awesome, and the somber reminiscing of times past gives the story soul, the silly magic that Frieren learns stuck out to me, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since I read it. It's touching, and by all means innocuous and inconsequential to the greater story of reaching the Demon Lord's domain once more. Frieren purports that she collects odd and strange magics or spells as a hobby, just because. There is actually a deeper meaning behind this origin, but that isn't even what stuck out to me. My mind focused on the happy, goofy moments involving these strange magics and the means by which Frieren acquires them. Many chapters will open with the gang in some new area, greeted by someone in need of help. Frieren will turn them down until they reveal that they have magic to scratch her back in the perfect spot, or magic that will make perfect tea every time. To me, Frieren is all about appreciating things as they come, given that the titular character watches people live and die in the blink of an eye. And the epitome of this philosophy is found in these tiny, silly magics. The rewards for these small jobs that she takes to get some cool magic remind you that in the tumult of your life's path, while there may be earth-shattering, life-defining moments, the small brief rays of happiness are what strings them along. These moments keep you grounded and sane. One of the series' strong points are those chapters where Frieren and her two friends are simply doing something mundane for somebody, or living life slowly. It's important to note that this is tied to the nature of Frieren's character. She spends time doing things for little magics not just because she enjoys strange magic, but also because, as an elf with a long lifespan, her time is virtually unlimited. She can afford, in the grand scheme of her life, spending 6 months doing a quest for some random villager, while her human companions may feel a greater sense of urgency. In the very beginning, she plans a week-long walk to a good spot to watch a meteor shower from with her previous adventuring party, who is now all old, seemingly oblivious to how it would be tough for them. Frieren sees a week-long trek for a simple view of the sky to be a particle of sand on her vast beach of time, while her companions only have a few grains left in their hourglasses. Fern, one of her present-day companions, isn't on the same page. She is initially often concerned with the amount of time they spend in a town during a side quest or some such, and doesn't understand the point to Frieren's odd magic. But Fern changes. She becomes appreciative of the small things. She understands that 3 months is a standard amount of time to be leisurely completing a quest. She's human, and, like us, she may be concerned at first with rushing from place to place. Medium spoilers for something about 50 chapters into the manga. If you're manga only, feel free to keep watching. If you're anime only, skip to this time on the screen. You can also keep watching. I'm not your boss. 50 chapters in, Fern gets the chance to essentially learn any spell she wants free of cost. She presumably has all sorts of nasty offense magic, utility magic, or other such momentous spells in front of her. However, she follows in the footsteps of her master. Having been influenced to love smaller spells, she chooses clothing cleaning magic, something supposedly hidden from the world for ages and self-satisfiedly touted by Fern as extremely useful for doing the laundry. We later see a panel of her receiving this magic, where the person who gives it to her is incredulously annoyed with her decision. This is a really important moment to me. As of the time of this video, this hasn't yet been animated. It comes at the end of a very exciting arc that I'm sure people will love, and which manga readers are eager to see animated. But it's this tiny moment that spoke the most to me. This page here, in particular, is what stuck with me, what I couldn't stop thinking about. It's emblematic of this important message that I've been dancing around this whole video. To remember and appreciate the little things, the innocuous things that do little else aside from providing joy. For another example, Frieren learns a specific kind of magic that turns any grape sour. It seems random and pointless at first, but if you check back in a previous memory, you find Asen saying that he loves sour grapes. This sour grape magic does little else besides make somebody else happy. Frieren learns it just because of Asen. It's a small joy that is representative of all the silly magics as a whole and their place in the story. It exists to make both the characters and you, the reader, happy. There's a real-world analog I relate this to. Food. I know the thing I just said was also about food, but just run with me. The experience of eating food, while obviously necessary to literally continue living, is also an act to enjoy. You could, in theory, eat nothing but the bare necessities to survive every day until you die. But we don't. I have many happy memories of simply enjoying good food, feeling comforted by good taste and a sense of fullness. Eating good food simply fills me with euphoria, all the more so when with people I love. A meal of delicious curry or a warm French onion soup isn't something that you would see when looking upon the narrative of my life and say, yes, that's what defines this person, but it is something worth living for. I often think to myself when I'm enjoying food that this joy is what keeps me going. Eating good food is what it's all about. Sometimes. To explicitly relate this to Frieren, the simple joy of eating good food is akin to the simple joy of silly little spells. Both are not necessary in the grand scheme of life, yet sustain one through the darker, harder, life-defining moments. It can be something silly, something comforting, something joyous, something loving, but a collection of these something moments furnish a backdrop of contentedness over which the major events of your life take place. My call to action to you, then, is to stop and appreciate these things. Next time you enjoy a hearty stew with your friends or family, remember this video. Stop, think, and simply drink in the emotion, and also the stew. Crystallize it in your memory. Seek out similar moments as much as you can. It may be small, but it will make you happier. And that, I promise. You may be able to tell that that was where the video was originally supposed to end. It ends on a really nice and sincere note. That's where the script ends. But I had a bunch more stuff that I figured out that I wanted to talk about after I went through the anime, and I couldn't find a place to put it in the script. So here's some of the stuff that I really loved about Frieren. If it sounds different, it's because I recorded this part after I recorded everything else, and my voice might sound different today, so I'm sorry. So here's a bunch of stuff I love about Frieren, both the anime and the manga. The montages that show the more mundane parts about the adventures, like cooking or sleeping or fixing a broken wagon. The clothing animation, which just goes way too hard. The ending visuals with a bunch of beautifully done shapes made of flowers swaying this way and that. The fact that Frieren is just carrying 2 pine cones with her in her bag, like literally just 2 pine cones. Why? How people meet Frieren who have heard about her from their grandparents but never met her, giving Frieren allies in the present thanks to her actions from ages ago. It's a really nice sense of scale and time. Stark's axe having a little fang on. Fern's winter outfit, which is super cute. I love how bored Frieren looks all the time, even when she's fighting like a powerful demon. Flam and her design in general, as well as the way she acts in the anime. I liked her when I read the manga, but something about the anime made her so much cooler to me. The way Frieren reads a scroll, which I never really thought about. Like, yeah, that is a super practical way to read a scroll, huh? Just having 2 little rolls that you shuffle between. I love all the little things they do that are unexplained, but with magic. Like Fern unlocking a window from the outside or just running across water. It's just, yeah, they use magic for that. The music, like all of the music, is fantastic. The spin that Fern does in the intro, as it looks like Joel, the fish. Generally how cozy all the day-to-day stuff is. And lastly, ultimately just the art style and how the artist draws characters' faces. Just really appeals to me. Now, you may notice that what I've just done here actually encapsulates the theme of the video overall, to notice and appreciate the small things. Whether it be the tiny details of an anime you're watching, the spice of a curry you're consuming, or the softness and comfort of your bed, there's a lot to be appreciated in life, if you look for it. Whatever it may be,
Dedicating time to noticing the tiny things that provide joy will surely put a smile on your face.
Thank you for watching, really. If you enjoyed this, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. And you could also like share it with your friends, maybe, if you liked it that much. And finally, here is some of my other work, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, I didn't need to stop recording. Oops.